What's good, guys? Volke here. I'm going to be bringing you a first-person replay commentary of myself playing Ursa. Now, I wanted to do this for a couple reasons. Firstly, Ursa is probably my favorite hero in Dota 2 currently. Let me just fast forward through this. This was all pick. It was ranked, please note. And I'll talk about why Ursa is one of my favorite heroes in a couple of reasons. Okay, let's slow this right on down. Go back a bit. We will hero chase, or not hero chase, we will player perspective me. The other reason why I want to do this is because I want to show off my dope Ursa set. So as far as Ursa goes, I got these dope claws which keep track of how many enemies I killed that are slowed. And then I bought this set that just kind of like takes away Ursa's armor and gives him like little red feathers and long ears. Okay, so let's talk a bit about Ursa as a hero. I've mentioned him before because he's one of my favorites to play, for sure. And one of the reasons he's one of my favorites, he just fits my playstyle very well. The thing about Ursa is that he can do so much damage. His, like, in my opinion, he has the most damage output potential in the game. Obviously that's debatable. Now of course you have like Bounty Hunter who can one-shot heroes at the end of the game with a Divine Rapier, and Sniper who can two-shot heroes end game and stuff. But like I'm talking Ursa at level 6 can like four-shot heroes, honestly, and you'll see kind of how that works. Now let's talk a bit about his abilities and why he's so effective. And by the way, he does have plenty of weaknesses, and I'll talk about those too. The skill that I always skill first is Fury Swipes, which Ursa's claws dig deeper into wounds in the enemy, causing consecutive attacks to deal more damage to the same enemy. So basically, his first attack does so much damage, next attack gonna do more, next attack gonna do more. Pretty simple. So you can see he gains 15 damage per attack. And at level 1, and then as you level it up he gets more damage per attack, and then it resets after 15 seconds on a hero and creep, and 6 seconds on Roche. His other ability is Overpower, which is an extremely strong ability. Using his skill in combat, Ursa gains increased attack speed for a number of subsequent attacks, so you hit it and he gains crazy bonus attack speed for 3 attacks, 4 attacks, 5, and then 6, and you'll see that definitely. His first ability is an AoE damage and slow. That's really his only way to minimize distance between him and another hero, and then his ult I'll talk about a bit later. So you can see how that creep has those swipes over him. That's because he has a stack of Fury Swipes, so my whatever you call it, my hits are going to be doing more damage the next hit I do. Now let me please point out that I probably shouldn't have this last hits deny screen up because I last hitted horribly in this game, really bad. For sure, they were denying really well, and Viper sucks to lane against, and I'm not really used to laning against him because Viper normally plays mid, and I don't really mid very often. But so yeah, that sucked. You can see right now I'm at 1 last hit, but actually my farm this game wasn't too horrible, so we'll just see how that goes. Now I am laning with the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden is a great support, especially for Ursa, because she has that solid lockdown. She has Frostbite, which freezes the enemy in place and keeps them from attacking, which is perfect for Ursa because, remember, like I said, Ursa can do crazy damage, but he has to be in melee range, and he can't be stunned, obviously. So there's another fail last hit. So having Crystal Maiden with that lockdown and a slow as well is just perfect for me, and we'll see how that works out later. Also funny, I was laning with a, wasn't I laning? Pretty sure I was laning with the Crystal Maiden on the Troll Warlord game that I uploaded. Another fail last hit, so just ignore that. Now my starting build for Ursa, I always go, or my item build, I always go 8 tangos, a salve, and a quelling blade. As far as stats, in my opinion, he doesn't really need him right away, so I just go with massive regen to keep myself in lane, and then the quelling blade helps with last hits. Obviously not in this situation considering I have 2, but in most situations a quelling blade for a melee carry is always worthwhile in my opinion, especially if you're not that good. I mean, if you're a pro you never need it because you're so good at last hitting, but if you're alright, I always recommend getting it. As far as my build goes with Ursa, you're always going to want to build Vlad's first on Ursa. Sometimes I go face boots first, but Vlad's is always good because Ursa can actually Roche at level 6 as long as he has Vlad's, he's pretty much the only hero that can do that. And I actually do that in this game, so I'll show you guys kind of how that works. Another fail. I was so frustrated with myself. I have 3 last hits at this point. But anyways, just to point out, we do have a Legion Commander jungling, which I think is really good, which puts a Timbersaw offline, which is also really good. So I think we had a pretty good comp in this game. Razor mid is also solid. So Crystal Maiden is going to freeze Viper, and honestly, that was pretty poor communication. I was like, oh, you're putting pressure on. I'm just gonna drop by the shop then. I didn't realize we were really going in. And I used my salve there to try to save myself, and it actually worked out perfectly because I secured my life, and they didn't even cancel it. So, sucks getting at first blood. That was poor communication. I probably should have stayed in lane and not kind of wandered off, but it happens. So at this point, I have Boots of Speed. I don't know if it's common to rush Vlads before Boots of Speed, but I always grab Boots of Speed first just because it's so important in lane, in my opinion. Oh yeah, okay, sorry. I always go Boots of Speed, then Ring of Basilisk. I might have been able to skip Ring of Bass because of the Crystal Maiden with the mana regen, but I think it's just a good item to pick up on Ursa, and it's relatively cheap. It's only 500, so that's what I do. So yeah, okay, some of Ursa's weaknesses. Now, if I'm playing an all pick and somebody picks Ursa, my personal preference for countering him is I really like countering him with Earthshaker. The reason is because Earthshaker has 3 stuns. And guess what? If Ursa's stunned, he can't do damage. Yes, Ursa can get a BKB, but it's still going to wear out, and I don't know, that's my personal preference. He has a lot of good counters to him, like Omni Knight's ulti is a really good counter, and as you can see, we're fighting against an Omni. By the way, Razor did kill Luna mid, which is good. Anyways, so yes. So here, Spirit Breaker's going to be charging in. She freezes him. I pop my W. You see how I'm like glowing and stuff? That's what increases my attack speed, and you can see the buff right here. For my 3 next attacks, I'll be doing super fast attack speed, and you'll definitely see that later. I was just thinking maybe we could go in on him, but didn't end up working out. And this lane is actually pretty rough, honestly. Spirit Breaker and Viper is really hard because you have Spirit Breaker's initiation coupled with Viper's slows, and you can really get screwed pretty easily. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Basically, so Omni Knight's ulti is a really good counter to Ursa because it shields him and all of nearby allies against physical attacks, which that's all Ursa can really do. Yes, his Q does do a little bit of damage, but other than that, his basic damage dealing is going to be from physical attacks. So you can see there she froze Spirit Breaker, which is great. I wasn't able to really move in on it. At this point, I do have Boots of Speed and Ring of Bass, so even though I only have 9 last hits, my farm actually isn't too horrible, to be completely honest. I haven't died. I'm feeling pretty good about this at this point. It is only 5 minutes in. And my XP isn't looking too horrible either. There's another last hit. So that's really the counters to Ursa that I see. And the other thing is, I mean, this is a pub game. And the thing about pub games is that people don't really oftentimes pick to counter. If I'm playing Captain's mode, I'll never play Ursa, because Captain's mode, the whole point of Captain's mode is to try to pick, counter pick type thing. And I'd really think that Ursa is pretty easily countered. He's kind of like Ricky. He can be countered pretty easily. Now, I'm being charged here, so I'm going to back right on up. She's going to Frostbite. Luna's here, so I'm just going to back out. There's nothing I can do. Crystal Maiden goes down. I'm running. Legion Commander comes in. There's a kill on Luna. I'm still really low, so I'm just going to back. And Viper goes down, and Spirit Breaker survives. But that was pretty good for us. Somehow I got the kill on Luna. I think I popped my Q and got it, so that's cool. That gave me some good gold, and I didn't die. So I'll always take that. So yeah, as far as Ursa goes, I think that he's at this point Heisenberg was a boss, and he's like, here, don't go back, just take my bottle charges because you need to carry us. So I really appreciated that. That's very good teamwork from him, and I popped it right on back to him. And yeah, so at this point it's 4-2. Who did they kill? Oh yeah, they've killed Crystal Maiden twice, which is acceptable. Crystal Maiden is a super squishy support, and that's totally fine. Also, a quick note, I realized that I pretty much only have posted games of me carrying so far, and that's because I tend to prefer carries. So he goes for the duel, I pop my Q, W, melt him down. For some reason a creep got that kill, but so it didn't really show it that well. But he got the bonus damage, which is good, and we both got assists, which is good. At this point, I got my Morbid Mask. After that, I just have to get Ring of Regen, and then just pick up the recipe to get Vlad's. Depending on my farm, sometimes I'll get Face Boots first, as opposed to Vlad's, but this game I was thinking I'll just go Vlad's first, because I was feeling pretty confident. So yeah, there's Ulrich, my friend. He's playing LC. Crystal Maiden's coming into lane right now, and we're going to see if we can just do some damage. Ursa is also a pretty good tower pusher, just because of his massive attack speed gain. And okay, his ult, I never talked about his ult. Basically what Ursa's ult does is it's a pretty basic / really simple to use ult, mainly because it doesn't cost any mana. It's just on a 30-second cooldown. So basically, as long as it's up, 25-second cooldown. So basically, as long as it's up, you might as well be using it if you're attacking something, and you don't think you'll need it for 25 seconds. Basically, he gains a percentage of his current health as damage. Let me make sure. Yeah. So basically, what happens is, so like right now my health's 560. Let's say. Let's just say it's 500. So I enrage, get 5% of that as damage. So I mean, like, it's just a little buff to my attack damage, basically. So kind of the rotation with Ursa is Q to slow, R to gain the bonus damage, and then W to get the super massive attack speed, and then GG because they're melted. At this point I do have Vlad's. It's on its way to me right now. Actually, it's not. It's on its way to Razor right now, but I'm kind of working my way towards Roche because I know that I will call the courier. You see me call him there, and I'm going to be headed right on down to Roche. The reason why Ursa can Roche so early is because he does good damage, he has really high attack speed, and then with the lifesteal that Vlad's provides, you can just keep up with Roche. He damages you down, you gain it back with the lifesteal. Simple as that. Excuse me, sorry. I just ate a bunch of food, so, you know. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. Waiting for the courier, bow, have Vlad's. So I pop my ult to get that bonus damage, then I pop my W to get the attack speed, and you can see how fast Ursa attacks, and actually the amount of damage he's doing to Roche at level 7. That's pretty crazy. And then they actually spotted me, so they arrowed me there. So I'm like, crap. So I back right on out. Almost die, but he buffs me, which is cool. I'm just going to kind of keep on trying here. I'm like, guys, cover me. I'm just going to do this really quick. And they actually do cover me, and the Radiant team decides that they're not going to go in on me, which is probably wise, because I had 2 people defending me, and I'm Ursa. With Legion Commander's W, made it super easy for me to take her down, and I said, hey guys, could you please leave so I could get the experience from this? And they do, which was nice of them. And look at that, I got Aegis, which allows me to be a lot more reckless. The thing about Ursa, in my opinion, I've seen him built differently, but the way I build him as pure damage dealer. Just pure damage. And to have the Aegis is so helpful, because honestly, he's kind of squishy. You can see he has 900 health, he has 7 armor plus 5. He's not like the squishiest ever, obviously. He's not going to be like a Crystal Maiden. But I did stack the camps there, and I actually have trouble taking it down because they just do a lot of damage. I can't lifesteal it back up, but I can kind of kite him around pretty easily. So I'm going to come down into lane here. At this point I'm 1 kill, 0 deaths, not a bad place to be with some decent farm, and now I'm working towards my phase boots. Roshan get me some solid gold, and I'm 40 gold away from finishing my phase. I always build phase on Ursa. I've seen him build differently, but in my opinion the phase is great because what is Ursa all about? He's all about shortening the distance, because all of his damage is melee, so you need to be right next to him, and phase boots with the extra speed boost, it can really make a difference. Plus the bonus damage, of course, is always good. Appreciate the W from Legion Commander there, giving me that bonus attack speed, and at this point I'm going to pop up here to buy my Blades of Attack, and then I'm going to come back on down. Now Omni popped his ult, which basically rends me useless, and there's Mirana there. She's going to kind of get trapped. I'm going to go on Omni. What's up, Omni? Melt him down. You can see the amount of damage that Ursa can actually do. Timber takes out him. Here comes Luna, and goodbye, Luna. I mean, it's literally just like, if you want to come into my arms, I will destroy you. That's what Ursa's all about. If you don't keep that distance, then you're gonna die. And I'll try to upload some games later where I'm versus the Ursa, and you can see how I deal with that. It's kind of a lot of kiting. It's walking up, poking him, backing up, walking up, poking. You never want to get in just a straight-on duel. Never. Unless you're like Legion Commander, possibly. But Really, you never want to be fighting him in melee. I'm going to try with the Ancients again because I only need a little bit more gold to build my, I'm not sure. But I think, pretty sure I'm going towards Basher, so I don't really think I need the gold, but I'm just kind of trying to farm this down. And they actually stacked again, so I'm like, ugh. I don't think I wanted them to stack again at that point because I was having trouble dealing with it. But if you sit right on that staircase, that's kind of where they turn back, so you can kind of kite them up and down there, and it actually works decently. I could be using my ult at this point. Doesn't really matter that much because my health's kind of low anyway, so I'm not going to be getting that much bonus attack. So I'm just kind of killing one, backing up, waiting for my cooldown on my attack speed to go down. Kind of kiting them up to the staircase. That's kind of, in my opinion, the best way to farm the Ancients if you can't just face tank it. Back right on it. And I think I am actually, I don't know why I popped Q there, but I did. I think at this point I'm trying to farm the Javelin, or whatever it's called. It's 1500 gold. Oh, I'm building Shadowblade. Gosh dang, I'm so stupid. I always build Shadowblade after Vlad's. And the reason is this. What was I just talking about? Lessening the gap, okay? You pop the Shadowblade, you walk right up next to him, Q, R, W, they're dead. Simple as that. A lot of people will build a Blink Dagger on Ursa. I think that that's good. The thing about the Blink Dagger is that you don't get any bonus stats from it. It's purely just for the blink. With the Shadowblade, you do get bonus attack. And secondly, I do think that Shadowblade is a more reliable escape. They both are reliable. I mean, if you can run away from them for a long enough time and not take damage, you can easily blink away. The thing with the Shadowblade is that you can use it whether you're taking damage or not. The only thing is it's a longer cooldown, and it does. I don't know about the mana cost on those, but I say if you're playing Ursa and you build a Blink Dagger, cool, that's your thing. I prefer the Shadowblade. That's my personal opinion. So at this point, I do grab the Shadow Amulet first. It doesn't really matter what you grab first, it's kind of personal opinion. Some games I'll grab the sword first, sometimes I'll grab the amulet. The sword obviously gives you the damage, or it's called like a claymore or something, whatever. Gives you the damage, the amulet gives that possible escape, because you can go invisible in place with like a 3-second fade or something ridiculous, but it's really up to you what you prefer. And honestly, if I have the 1600, I normally go for the amulet just because it's always, in my opinion, better to buy the higher cost one first if you can. And Crystal Maiden just took out Spirit Breaker there, which was amazing. I don't even know how that happened, but it did. And we're just going to kind of be going back and forth. Arrow comes in, hits the ranged creep, and I'm almost level 11, which will give me level 2 of my ult, which just gives me more percentage of bonus damage when I pop it. We're going to take out this tower, so I pop my ult, pop my W, GG tower, and I'm working towards my actual Shadowblade. Also, in my opinion, you know how I said Ursa is a great pure damage dealer. I think that he's a very effective ganker too, especially if you grab the Shadowblade. Literally walk up Q, R, W, and you will see that. I promise you a solid gank later in the game. And that's the thing. I've seen a lot of games where people play Ursa and they just don't play him very well, and kind of saddens me. And I'm sure that if you guys have favorite heroes and you see people playing poorly, it saddens you too, because you're like, come on, man, the hero has so much potential. What are you doing, bro? I'm just gonna kind of jungle here because I almost have enough for Shadowblade. I need like 200 more gold. And yeah, Ursa's a super fun hero. He's really easy to be good with. If you're new, I recommend playing him in bot games. To be honest, I actually played Ursa for like a few bot games, and I was like, I don't really like him that much. Like, I don't know. I always got stressed out because I always thought that my team would be expecting me to Roche, and that type of thing. And to be honest, he's really fun, and I think I got him at like an all random or something. So I'm going to be being charged here. I'm going to just pop right on up to the Ancients. Farm their Ancients. If you can, it's always good to farm the other team's Ancients. Here comes Spirit Breaker. Bow. So I'm going to Q, W, R, and Omniite pops his ult, which sucks. So I'm like, well, I can't do anything for this amount of time. But now I can. Sup, Ursa? And you can see the damage that I'm doing. And Omni goes down to Legion Commander, which is cool. So that was the 2 kills, plus we get the Ancients. And bow. And that gives me my Claymore, or whatever that item is, on its way to me right now. Puts me at 4-0. Hey, not bad. So yeah, anytime you can get those good engagements, it's always good. Especially if you can pick up Ancients right afterwards. Yeah. So there's the Shadowblade. If you guys don't know what Shadowblade is, it's an item that you activate it and it gives you good invisibility. Now at this point, I'm like, back up, I'm coming to save. Now obviously he's fine because he's Timber Saw and I'm way far away. But I was just gonna see if he could bait her out, so I could get the gank. But as it turns out, she's not going back to base. She doesn't sense anything. I'm gonna come right as I poke around here. I'm gonna Shadowblade once I get up to the. There we go. Shadowblade. She comes out of invis, QWR, goodbye. That's pretty much why I like Ursa. There's nothing more fun than doing that, really. Spirit Breaker just killed CM, which isn't that big of a deal. And it's going to put me at 5-0, give me some solid farm. At this point, I do build Basher. Now, you have a couple of options. Obviously, you can build Basher. If you're versus a team that has a lot of AoE, like not AoE, a lot of magical damage, you're going to want to pick up a BKB, of course. BKB is always great because you get bonus damage from it, bonus strength, and the magic immunity. Always recommend a BKB. The thing that I do like about a Basher is that it's a passive item, and I've talked about this in the past. If you're not super great at the game of Dota, pick passive items, because passive items you don't have to think about. They just give you passive bonuses that make your hero stronger, and you already got your Q, your W, and your R on Ursa, plus your Shadow Blade and your Face Boots, and you pick up a passive, don't have to worry about it. You just get some bonus stats, which is always good. So that's one of the reasons I built Basher. And then, like I said, what's Ursa about? Lessening the gap. Giving you that possible stun really makes it a lot easier to kill people fast. So I'm just going to kind of Shadow Blade in, see if anybody's around. They're not, so I one-shot the creep for the walls and start to farm up. So yeah, that's just my personal build that I do. Not really my personal build, it's a suggested build on the game, but it's the one that I prefer. And what I always say, if you play here like 2 or 3 times and you're like 0-3 with them and you're just not feeling them at all, try out with some different builds, because I've actually had that happen to me before, where I'm like playing here and I'm like, why am I sucking and why do I not like this hero? Because I definitely feel like this hero fits my playstyle, and I'll just try another build and I'm like, wow, okay, this fits. I like this a lot better. So I definitely recommend that. This is my personal build: Phase, Flaz, Shadowblade, Basher, but you can do whatever. Also, you're always going to want to have an Aegis as often as possible. Mine wore out. I never used to, obviously. Spirit Breaker's charging in. I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going, man? WR, goodbye. Crystal Maiden got the kill, and I'm like, dude, come on, man. And he's like, ah, ha, ha, ha. Crystal Maiden laughed, but it's all good. I'm just going to jungle right on up. Timbersage killed Luna, nice. Fred, my friend on Dota, he plays a really good Timbersage, I'm not even gonna lie. He's been practicing so much with him. It's kind of ridiculous. They do have this warded, so that's good on their part. Lucky for them. Well, lucky, I guess. I don't know. Roche isn't up. If he was, they may have tried to get me, but he wasn't. So I'm just gonna, I just say, oh, Roche isn't up. Cool, I'll farm the Ancients. And actually, you can see that Roche is up now. By the time that I'm gonna be done with them, and I'm gonna go check it here in a sec. So I am building Bash. I'm like, what's good, Roche? I think I'm waiting for my ult to come off cooldown. 2, 1. Ult dub. Yep. I'm gonna Roche. Roshing is a big part of Ursa because he can solo Roche so easy. Like, there are heroes that, yeah, you can solo Roche, but you know, you need to make sure you have the right items and you have to be just the right level. Ursa, cool, you can Roche at level 6 with a freaking Flats. That's all you need. And having an Aegis on him is always important, and that's why I don't really build a tanky build on him, because you're gonna have the Aegis. So you die, you're back. Cool beans. Like I said, there was one game I was actually playing where the Ursa went like super tank. He had heart, heart, AC, I don't know, which, like, why would you build an AC on Ursa? He already has massive attack speed. I don't know. Anyways, I have Basher now and it's on the way. And, you know, respect. Everybody has their own builds. I'm not one to hate. This is just my personal preference. They do cast the Mirana ult, which also sucks very badly. And I'm just going to be kind of rolling mid with my Bash. Bow. As you guys know, Skull Basher, it gives a passive Bash, stun somebody for 1.4 seconds. That's a 25% chance, which when you think about, so I'm just melting him there, and Crystal Maiden steals my kill again, and I'm like, dude, but it's all good. So I'm like, well, let's take the tower since we're here. And they have backdoor protection. I'm like, dang it. So a 1.4 second stun or whatever it was on a 25% chance is pretty dang good, especially when your attack speed is as fast as Ursa's with his W activated. And of course they fortify red as I pop all my abilities, which always sucks, but well played on their part. At this point we have lost all of our tier 1s, not a tier 2, and they're in the same position as us. So yes, we're ahead in kills, but we're not sitting too fancy. Is that a thing? Sitting fancy? I don't know if that's a thing, but it is now. So we're just kind of pushing up. We have a lot of poking ability with Razor and Timber. which allows me to just kind of sit back and wait for a fight to happen. Spirit Breaker's charging, but he's probably going to cancel it if he's smart. No, he's not going to cancel it. He's going to go on Crystal Maiden. And I'm going to Shadow Blade. Here he comes. Q, W, R. I say good day, sir. And all of a sudden they're all here, and I'm like, dang it! So I go down. I do have Aegis, but my Shadow Blade is on cooldown, which sucks. But Razor's here to save the day. And Timber. So I run, and then I'm like, oh, let's fight this. Come on in. Q. Kill him with my Q purely. Chase Mirana here. Timber's coming around the other side. You can see him here. We got her trapped 3 ways. There was no escape whatsoever. So, hey, we traded 1 for 3, and we lost the Aegis. But the thing about the Aegis is, it's wasted if you don't use it. To be completely honest, you always want to be using it, and if you can use it in exchange for 3 kills, then hey, even better. So at this point, I'm going to be building BKB because, just it's always good. It'll protect me from Luna's ult, Luna's Lucent Beam, Viper's crap, and it'll just be really good all around. And like I said, BKB is always a solid item, but even more when you have like Luna's ult and stuff like that. At this point, I'm just kind of farming up. I see that they're pushing, that's fine. But I'm not really in any super big hurry to finish because they don't really outcarry us. If we didn't have Legion Commander, I'd say that they do, but just because Legion Commander has such late game snowball, I think that we're pretty much fine. Ursa does tend to taper off. Ursa's a great carry, but against heroes like Medusa, even like Spectre and Anti-Mage, I feel like could way out carry him. In my opinion, I was up against a Medusa once where I was like super fed, and she ended up. Actually, what ended up happening was 2 of her teammates abandoned, so she got super bonus gold, and I just couldn't even touch her. There was nothing I could do. So yeah, there's going to be an engagement going on down here. So I'm going to be rolling down. Mirana does pop her ult, which will kind of allow them to just kind of seep away. We do get Spirit Breaker, but that's about it. There's Viper, he's going to be poking up. Nothing's going to happen. And we're going to push the tower. With Legion Commander with a DD and me there, it's GG tower. Literally melting through. That's going to put me that much closer to my BKB, which is good. The other thing about a BKB is, yes, it makes you immune to magic, herp derp, but in addition to that, it really scares. It really scares players. Like, if you run in, pop a BKB, all of a sudden you're glowing yellow and you're big, and they're like, crap, he's got a BKB. They're not gonna want to fight you because they know that they don't have disables against you. So I mean, they're more likely to back out of the fight. At this point, I can Shadow Blade because there's no true sight there, and we're gonna take the racks, easy peasy. They can't do anything against us. They only have 9 kills total. Now, also, please know, I've seen Dota videos before where people are like, like let's say Purge, for instance, famous Dota player. People are like, dude, you only upload games where you're good. Firstly, that's not true. He doesn't do that. But secondly, there's another kill for me, and there's the Omni ult, which sucks. There's the Luna ult, which I kind of just tanked to the face, and then I have to go invis and back on out. I'm like kind of poking in, and I'm like, oh no. I'm like, do we fight? Do we fight? And yeah, we do fight, and Razor kills like all of them. Anyways, I'm posting a video in which I play well with Ursa because Ursa is one of my favorite heroes, and I want to showcase him. Now, I have a support game that I'm going to cast and upload soon, where I don't necessarily have a positive KD, but also I'm a support. So, the other thing is, if I'm going to do a first-person replay commentary, it's not fun to watch somebody suck, in my opinion. So, normally I'm going to upload games where I don't suck. And if you're like, Volk, I want to watch you suck, I mean that in the least sexual way whatsoever, then cool, I'll post a game where I suck. Either way, I have BKB at this point. I'm going to check Roche. At this point, I pretty much only have 1 open slot because I can always drop the Quelling Blade at any time, and then that's where my Aegis would go. And you can see I'm 3-shotting Ancients. I mean, the damage he does is incredible. Check Roche again. No Roche. I'm really bad at like the whole I know that there's like add-ons that you can get, or not even add-ons, but like hotkeys, where right when Roche dies, you click it, and then it'll record, and then it will show the time on chat, so you can go back and look when Roshan died. So then you can kind of know when he's going to respawn, which is really cool. I'm just not that into it really. I just kind of do what I do. Now I was kind of poking around here, and somehow I get arrowed when I'm freaking invis, and they know that I got arrowed, so they're just kind of chilling. My Shadow Blade's about to wear off. I'm bouncing because they know I'm here. They had that area warded, so props to them. I'm gonna get charged. I'm gonna pick up the illusion, but they already know which one I am, so they're just gonna pretty much tank me down. And either way, I mean, Crystal Maiden gets a double kill, and we're gonna be just fine. Even with Crystal Maiden dying, it's a 2 for 2, and they jumped us, so it's not horrible. Yeah, it's not the worst thing to ever happen. And Razor's gonna come right on in because he's Razor and he moves like a freaking bullet. He doesn't even care. So 2 for 2. Yes, they killed me, which sucked because I was currently having, at the time I was having a perfect game. But it's all good. As far as this goes, I'm not looking the best. Like I said, my farm this game just wasn't that great. But as it turned out, I didn't need it because I kind of farmed off kills. Let's look at net worth. See, me and Razor are dominating in that part, so it didn't really matter that I didn't have that many last hits, in all honesty. And that whole time that shenanigans is going on, Timber's pushing top, which is perfect. Playing with friends like this, you get a lot of good teamwork going on. You got people poking here and pushing here and that type of thing. Spirit Breaker's going to go after Timber. Timber uses his little hook shot away. And there's a fight going on. I'm back up at this point. I'm just chilling in base. Grab my TP, come on in. And the funny thing was, Spirit Breaker initiated that and almost died for it. And they're going to turn around. But Timber's fine. Timber has great escape. And here comes Spirit Breaker again. But he's out of there. And if he could have gotten one more like Razor spin crap, he may have been able to get him. I'm like, coming in, but freaking Razor beat me. Killed Luna. Here I come in from the top, you see me there. I'm gonna try to help him. W, he's dead, double kill, thanks for the bait. That was really, couldn't have gone any better, because I Shadow Bladed, they didn't see that I was there, so they're like, get Razor! And then all of a sudden, I'm there, and goodbye. And Legion now has Eye of Scod, which is interesting. I've never seen Eye of Scotty built on Legion. Ulrich normally has pretty solid builds though, so I respect that. Plus we're pretty far ahead, so these types of games are the good games to test out different builds and stuff, that type of thing. So at this point I'm going to be building Crystallis. The reason I like Crystallis is because it gives you crit, which with Ursa already doing so much damage, you throw in a crit or two in there and goodbye son, goodbye. So that's always good. I'm gonna kind of just chill here, it looks like. I'm kind of waiting for my Crystallis maybe. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I'm gonna go Roche. I'm saying, hey guys, and Roshan just respond. I'm saying, hey guys, you guys are pushing fine, hold it down. While you're distracting him, I'm gonna go Roche, which a lot of times is a really good thing to do on Ursa because here's the enemy team struggling to stay alive. Then they see that Ursa's got Aegis and they're just like, GG. So that's always a good thing to do, in my opinion. It's always solid. And actually, they're kind of pushing our team back here. Razor's going to help me, which isn't really necessary, but appreciate it nonetheless. Oh, it's because I told him to come help me, actually, because I knew that cheese was going to drop. I was like, hey, bro, come grab the cheese. In case you guys don't know, whenever Ursa dies, like every third death Ursa has, he drops cheese, which is an item, an activated item. When you activate it, instantly restores your health and mana to full. So me and Razor are going to be poking around here, seeing if we can get any cleanups. We see Luna derping around, and unfortunately Razor's so much faster than me, and Luna decides to walk up that I don't really get to help out. And he did get the kill, which, to be honest, I was relieved that he got the kill, because if I would have gotten it, I would have felt kind of bad, since he did most of the work there. I do have Crystallis in my stash. The problem is I don't have room for it. It's a good item. I probably should have built like Abyssal Blade or something that I could have built off a Basher. So I'm just going to Shadow Blade down here. What's up, Omni? QWR. Somehow he got the kill, but whatevs. Not going to complain. We're just going to push right on up. And yeah, so I probably should have just built like Abyssal Blade, something that I could have built out of Basher, so I didn't have to get another spot. I'm like, oh no, I probably shouldn't fight this. So I'm gonna back right on out. They actually do have some pretty good carry power, and I'm gonna get a turnaround. I have Aegis, so I'm gonna see what I can do. I get a kill there, and Timber ends up chasing him off just fine, and kills him. I'm gonna go for Mirana. Unfortunately, she has Leap because Leap is OP. No, I'm just kidding, it's not OP. But so at this point, I'm like, what do I build? Daedalus? I don't freaking know. Doesn't really matter. Legion Commander got that kill on Luna, which is good. Extra damage for her. And honestly, it doesn't really matter what I buy at this point because it's pretty GG. I'm just like, destroy towers, destroy. And in summary, guys, Ursa's a really fun hero. I encourage you to play him. Don't play him too much because he's mine. But yeah, he's my most successful hero. He's really easy to play. Has a pretty simple strategy to him, and it just fits my playstyle. And that's what Dota's all about. Finding heroes that fit your playstyle, trying heroes that don't, messing around with it. That's all fun. If you can only play one hero all your Dota life, there's no fun in that. I'm gonna see if I can get some kills here. Cool. There's another kill for me. Puts me at 13-1. Here comes Mirana. Nubana. There's Vipe. He Shadow Blades out, so I'm like, alright. Well played, guys, well played. Just gonna do my thing. Nice duel there. Destroys. And we can't really poke in anymore. At this point, I have too much gold for my own good. And I'm like, let's just go ahead and finish this game. Or not. I'm like, I'm just gonna walk around in circles some more. Q for no reason. WR. GG. So guys, appreciate you watching this. I'll let the stats pop up here really quick. Dota's fun. Go out and play it. Drop a like, drop a sub, all that good stuff. And I'll be uploading my support game soon if you guys want to see me play support. So here we have it. As you can see, me and Razor tied for kills, but I had one less death though, and he had one more assist. But either way, pretty close. Thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you all later. Volke out.